All right, so after trying everything in and outside the book, Imran Khan still could not save himself. He's now become the first Prime Minister of Pakistan to be unseated through a no-confidence motion that was brought against him. So as the clock struck an hour past midnight in Pakistan, 174 members of the National Assembly voted in favour of the motion in the House of 342 members. The opposition needed 172 to pass the resolution, and PMLN's Ayaz Sadiq chaired the latter part of the session, and so he could not cast his vote, while the PTI's dissenting members decided to skip the voting process altogether.
"174 members have recorded their votes in favor of the resolution. Consequently, the resolution for vote of no confidence against Mr. Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, has been passed by a majority of the total membership of the National Assembly."
So it was a very long day for the parliamentarians in Pakistan. The National Assembly, of course, convened at 10:30 a.m. sharp. But between that and midnight, the lower house was adjourned at least about 4 times. And just minutes before the final voting began, the National Assembly Speaker, Asad Khaisar, along with the Deputy Speaker, resigned from their posts. Asad Khaisar said that he could not take part in a foreign conspiracy to oust the Prime Minister.
मैंने फैसला किया है कि मैं स्पीकर के ओहदे पे मजीद नहीं रह सकता और मैं अपने ओहदे से इस्तीफा देता हूं। मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी का बहुत लंबा अरसा अपने लीडर इमरान खान के साथ गुजारा। 26 साल से मैं उसके साथ रहा। मैं स्टूडेंट लाइफ से, जब मैं स्टूडेंट था उस वक्त मैंने तहरीक इंसाफ ज्वाइन की और उस वक्त जब मैं शौकत खानम कैंपेन चली थी मैं उस वक्त उसके साथ था। मैं चूंकि इस वक्त एक कौमी फरीज़ा है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक फैसला है, इसको मनोअन तस्लीम करते हुए उसकी जो प्रोसीजर है उसको आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं जो पैनल ऑफ चेयरमैन हैं आया सादिक साहब, वो बाकी इजलास वो चलाएगा।
Sir, voting please.
Soon after this, PMLN's Ayaz Sadiq took the chair and paid a short tribute to Asad Khaisar for an honourable exit. And at 11:58 p.m, the voting on the resolution began. Members in favour of the resolution were asked to exit the gate on the Speaker's left, and the session was then adjourned for 4 minutes. At 12:02 a.m. Pakistan time, the session resumed with the recitation of the Holy Quran. All government members, except for Ali Muhammad Khan, walked out of the House and boycotted the session. Now, throughout the session, Imran Khan was also not present. The nomination papers for the new Prime Minister will be submitted by 2 p.m. local time today, and a scrutiny will be done and completed by about 3 p.m. The National Assembly will then convene again on Monday, 11 a.m. sharp, Pakistan local time, where the new Premier is to be elected. Now, the joint opposition has named PMLN's Shehbaz Sharif as their candidate. He is the younger brother of the 3-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. The opposition leader is known very little outside of Pakistan, but domestically he has a reputation of having been an effective administrator. Now remember, no Prime Minister in Pakistan has ever completed his 5-year tenure. And with this ouster, Imran Khan, of course, has become the latest Prime Minister to not complete his elected tenure. He tried to cling on to power even through unconstitutional means. He attempted to block the no-trust vote. He called on the President to dissolve the House and even peddled a conspiracy theory. But all efforts were, in the end, pointless. He was clean bowled by those who were his allies once. But the cricketer turned politician seems to have more to say, which is why he's called on his supporters to hold a nationwide protest rally. Imran Khan is himself expected to be present in the demonstration that will take place in Islamabad later this afternoon. And our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, who's been tracking this story very closely for us, who was there at the midnight hour when the no-confidence vote in fact took place at the National Assembly in Pakistan in Islamabad, has sent us this report. Listen in.
Well, a long day at the Pakistani Parliament, and now it has come to an end with the vote of no confidence succeeding against the Pakistani Prime Minister, who is now the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, with 174 votes. The day started off with a lot of uncertainty, with PTI members being adamant that they will not let the vote happen today, that the vote can be extended. The session began at 10:30, and then soon after the question hour was opened, we saw the debate on this letter or this conspiracy, and after that the session was adjourned for about an hour and a half. Then the session began quite later from its designated time because of the azan and Zohar prayers as well. After which the session reconvened. It went on for some time, and then it was again adjourned because of the Asr prayers. Then the session was after the Asr prayers. Then the session was adjourned for after iftar, and it was supposed to begin at 9:30, but it went on to continue, and it began at around 11:30. With a barrage of resignations that came in, the PSPM, or the Personal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Azam Khan, he left his charge. Then the Attorney General of Pakistan, Khalid Javed Khan, he resigning. Then Imran Khan shifting to his residence. There's a lot of back and forth, lots of breaking news. The Supreme Court opened up late at night. They had fixed a contempt of court petition as well. Then the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker resigned. The session that was thus chaired by the panel of chairs person, Ayaz Sadiq. Panel of chairs has about 5 members, 3 being from PTI, 1 from the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, and 1 from the Pakistan Muslim League Quaid-e-Azam. Towards the end of it, Pakistan now is currently Prime Ministerless. It won't be wrong to say, lawfully speaking, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has lost the trust of the House, and he's not the Prime Minister anymore. We'll be seeing the House electing a new leader of the House, or the Prime Minister per se, on Monday, and it is highly expected or anticipated that Shehbaz Sharif, the leader of the former leader of the opposition in the House, hailing from the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. He's also the president of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, the brother of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. He is tipped off to be the Prime Minister in waiting. And all in all, a crazy day at the Pakistani Parliament. The proceedings went on for literally more than a day, because it started at 10:30 in the morning. It had to be adjourned for 3 minutes. At 11:59, the session reconvened at 12:02, and then the vote took place. And then it went on for another hour and a half as well. Speeches were done. No renewed commitments were made. Now the Pakistani Prime Minister has announced that he will be holding a bigger protest. He will be joining a big protest tomorrow against what he says is an imported government, and remains to be seen as to how big of a number Imran Khan can gather. But the news from here in Islamabad is that Pakistan now has a new leader of the House, or a new Prime Minister in waiting. And who will that be? Tipped off Shehbaz Sharif. But we will have to wait until Monday, the 11th of April, for the official announcement for that. Anas Malik in Islamabad, Pakistan, for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.